Growth creates opportunity and pressure. As a repair station adds space, people, test benches, and new capabilities, the foundation has to get stronger too. The intake, the inspections, the technical data, and the communication all have to keep pace. Hi, I'm Patrick Kraus, host of the Nose to Tail podcast. Today, I'm joined by Rob Lastra from LF Avionics. Let's take a closer look. LF Avionics. So obviously avionics as a name for your company is pretty descriptive, but what does the LF stand for?
Okay, LF, it's our last name is Lastra family. So when we were searching for names for our business, since this is a family business, we decided to go with our last name as the company name. So LF Avionics stands for Lastra family.
Nice.
And then Avionics.
So whom else from the family is involved in the business?
My dad and my wife, my mom too. So yeah, it's a family business. So we started my dad and I, both of us, and right now we keep hiring more people. But yeah, it's like a family.
So was your dad the founder?
My dad and I, yeah.
Nice. So did you have an aviation background prior to starting the company?
Oh yes, mainly on the purchasing side, and I also touched some bases on the dealing with clients and that kind of stuff. And I really, I enjoy a lot the purchasing and learn a lot through it. And my dad is the one who had the technical background. He used to work for a bunch of companies and being a technician. And when I got all the information about purchasing, dealing with clients, then we sit down and say, hey, why don't we do this on our own? And that's how LF Avionics started.
Yeah, a lot of family businesses in aviation, or actually small companies really in aviation as they get started, their origin stories are pretty similar. Like, hey, we can probably go do this on our own. This isn't super complicated. We've got expertise. We've got some legacy experience. Sounds like your dad had a lot of opportunities to learn and grow from some other places. And oftentimes that's born out of a solving a problem maybe better than or more effectively than another organization. As sometimes as organizations grow, they grow away from their clients, right? They get big and their customer service maybe suffers because they don't quite have that personal touch. And so it's oftentimes, hey, I can recreate that customer service with the same quality product if I start over because I'll just have more attention to give to those folks. So I'm not sure if that's exactly how you guys kind of started to develop this new company. But oftentimes I see that story play out pretty clearly.
Yeah, I believe that's exactly the point that we started with. We say, hey, how we can, offer a better service to aviation. And, our main goal since the beginning is to, keep it the transparency between, both parties, the client and LF Avionics. We like to, talk to clients, say, hey, this is going on with your order. And sometimes it gets delayed, but sometimes it don't. So we always like to make sure that they know what's going on with their orders.
So is your role today that customer service role? Is that what you're doing day to day?
I mean, no, I'm the accountable manager, so I'm the one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, overseeing, the 8130s, the unit goes out, like how they're supposed to go out. So I also talk to clients. I make sure that everything is being done in a timely manner, making sure that the TATs are being met and that clients doesn't have any complaints. The warranties, that make sure that there's no warranties coming out to LF Avionics. So that's mainly my role every day.
Well, certainly accountable manager is a very important role. Let's say for all of our listeners out there, that's the FAA compliance role.
Yeah.
Right? Ultimately, you are fully responsible for everything that goes on from a regulatory standpoint inside the organization, and every aspect of quality really falls under you. So it's a pretty important role. And for a young guy to take on that role, I mean, you look great if you're old, because I don't think you are. I think you're a young guy. But it's for a young guy to take on that role. That's pretty stellar. If you mind me asking, how big is the organization at this point?
Okay, I'll give you like the full background of it. So
Sure.
as I was telling you, we started, my dad and I, just by ourselves. We were in a 950 square feet warehouse. It was a small thing. Teen actually visited us once, and I was like kind of scared, showing it to her. It was, we call it like the closet, LF Avionics closet. And then after a year, we moved to a bigger facility, which is 5,000, and we just lease another one, which is 15,000 square feet. So
Magnificent.
we're gonna keep both of them, so the space will go up to 20,000 square feet. We have right now over 30 employees working for us, and the journey has been great. LF Avionics keeps growing, and that's thanks to you guys and all the clients that we have out there that trusted us when no one did, and gave us the opportunity to work together.
So what stands out about your organization? Obviously, that's a huge growth curve, which I love because Jeb and West is, we're always, I don't know if it's whatever we're going to take on next, and we're going to take it on. But with you guys are on this great growth pattern, what are those things that are really setting you aside different than your competitors in the marketplace?
It has to be the TAT, the communication between customer service and the client, and also the pricing is a big thing for us. So we make sure that what we quote to our client, we meet it when we get the work in the company. We make sure that the average that we tell to the client are being met. It's not that we quote you today $1,200, and then when we get the work order and we send the quote out to you, it's $2,200, and we make sure that we comply with those average that we tell our customers at the beginning.
So are you still using the manual touch? We talk a lot about AI on the podcast and some of the things happening there. Do you have any automated systems, or are you guys still saying, hey, we want a human-to-human interface to really be that customer service?
Okay, on the customer service side, everything is human to human. I personally love talking to clients, telling them what's going on with their orders, and finding out how is there's anything that we need to improve for them to keep growing the business relationship. And on the other side, we have automatic invoices, follow-ups, and those kind of things.
Nice.
But the customer service side is human to human.
Yeah, it's really tough to even consider how do you ask the right questions when you're talking to a customer if you're not talking to them.
Yeah.
You're invoicing and some of those things, you're correct. Those probably are pretty easy to automate, but I can certainly see that customer service side really being there. Now, I heard this quote before in some conversation, and it rings in my head very true because I might be guilty of saying, hey, what's going on? That seems like a really simple repair. How are you reacting to a client who says, Ashley calls you and says, hey, this is a really simple repair. I don't understand.
I mean, I see those every day, and there's no simple repair in aviation. We got one situation once that short of valve that was supposed to, a quick thing, just a testing and just get it out the door and that's it. And but the failure, the reason for removal report, it had like something that like it didn't add up for us. So we went deeper and we discovered that the actual failure of the unit wasn't the stated on the reason for removal. It was like a minor part inside the unit, like an electrical part. So the unit was working intermittently. So it was working once and then you test it again and it failed. So we got deeper into the unit and we found out that like a electronic component was damaged and it was causing the unit to fail. So it's never easy. It's just that we have to keep the client informed of what's going on and tell them, hey, yeah, the unit passed once, but then it failed, so we're trying to figure out how to fix it. And that's where the communication stands for, and the trust that LF builds between the client and the shop.
So let's go back to your growth real quick. You said you expanded from 900 from the closet to 5,000 to adding another 15. Are you adding new test benches and new types of capability, or is that duplication of hey, we need 3 of these test benches because so much volume will work? What's really driving that expansion?
Okay, first, yeah, we're investing on a new hydraulic test stand, which is gonna increase our volume a lot. But we also
Hang on a second. this isn't LF Hydraulics, it's LF Avionics, and you're gonna open a hydraulic shop.
I mean, it will be under LF Avionics as well, but we'll add hydraulic into our capabilities. The thing is that I think we chose the wrong name at the beginning. We chose LF Avionics, and now we're doing avionics, accessory, electromechanical components. We do a little bit of everything. But we, as long as we do it the right way, we will keep growing and making sure that the parts are getting fixed. And
Yeah.
that's what matters the most
All
for
right.
us.
So we're gonna work on a marketing plan right now. All right. The LF, right? Family of companies. So it's LF Aviation. Underneath that, LF Avionics, LF Hydraulics, and then what's next?
Yeah,
What's on the wish
next?
list? What I know you've thought about it, right? What's after hydraulics? Avionics, hydraulics,
We're gonna do fuels as well.
and fuel. LF fuel. I like that. I like that. It keeps going. Listen, I've been in this business since 1999, and when I started, I was selling nuts, bolts, rivets, washers, O-rings, gaskets, and if it didn't fit in a FedEx box, I probably didn't have it. And now we're buying and selling 777s and A380s and jet engines and all these crazy things. So just so long as you want to keep growing and expanding, and you have a great standard that you guys set, I think you don't have any problems expanding that company and really something massive for your family. That'd be a great legacy. Now, you mentioned something a second ago. You said doing it right. What does that mean to you guys? What is that for your company and your family?
Doing it right for LF Avionics, it means like following the process that we have in place to make sure that nothing gets assumed. We don't assume anything in a 145 MRO. We have to make sure that we follow the procedures to get to where we want the unit to go. We need to follow the intake, the in-process inspections. The final inspection is not just paperwork, is making sure that we're following technical data and that the unit gets repaired in per OEM specs, not assuming that this is broken, so I'm gonna change just this and it's gonna work. No, you gotta follow the CMM and make sure that you're going by the technical data to make sure that unit, when it goes into the aircraft, it doesn't fail again.
So we're gonna go back to your branding, LF Aviation, and doing it right. Is that
Doing
your
it right.
motto?
Yeah, I mean that's how it is. I mean,
I like that. I think
yeah.
we're recreating the world right here, on the podcast. This is amazing. We're going to be adding fuel at some point in time, and now we've got a full motto. You guys need to brand that.
Yeah.
I get the branding people. Someone over here is responsible for branding, right? All right, it's not me. I don't do those things. I got people for that. So that sounds really exciting. Now, do you have more family you guys are going to be bringing into the business? If you get so big, are you going to need more of the family running these divisions, or are you guys tapped out?
No, I mean we're open to to keep coming, having family members joining our team, but right now it's just like a close circle that we have, and everyone that we're trying to hire right now, it's they have like aviation background, so that way they can help us um gaining more experience on things that we have never done in the past.
Experience is a challenge that we face, and we face it in hiring. Now, where are you guys located?
Miami.
Miami. So you're in the global hub of aviation sector, and I know there's obviously a ton of expertise there.
Mhm.
How do you guys approach bringing people in? A lot of the people we talk to are challenged. We're in Kansas City, and there's some aviation in Kansas City, but not the volume that there is in Southern Florida. I'd be curious what your approach is to bringing people in.
I mean, it's getting tougher every time. It's hiring people. It's getting tougher in Miami since we have a lot of jobs down there. So technician labor, it's getting more expensive, more hard to find. So
So you mentioned experience earlier. So is your target employees, are you looking for more experienced people, or are you guys also blending that with, hey, I want to take a young technician, bring him in the shop, train him on how to do it right, because we're going to do it right. So if we're doing it right, then I'll bring him in, train him that way from the beginning. I know we've experienced some veteran technicians that come in on, especially on the airframe side, who are kind of stubborn and they want to do it their way. They think that they are doing it right, and they're really not. They really could be doing it better. And sometimes ego with a technician or mechanic creeps in, which is a dangerous thing. You know, you really don't want that. You want them sticking by the manual and those things, and it's hard sometimes to address that with someone who's been doing it for longer than I've been in the business. So what kind of blend do you guys look for as you're expanding?
So we're trying to add both. We offer, young people like the opportunity, like I was given once, to join the aviation and learn the process, and we teach them how to, how to properly read through CMMs, get into the unit, get, the technical that data that they need. And we also have those mechanics that were with us since before, so we already know them, we trust them, we know that they know what they're doing. So, and they're the ones training those young kids coming into LF Avionics. And that's how we're getting hiring right now. We're trying to get people from, from aviation schools and colleges to join our team and learn. We teach them how aviation works, how the MRO works, and that's mainly how we're focusing right now.
So, as you bring in young people from these schools, and you have, you mentioned a couple things there, but if you could give probably the top two things that a brand new student coming out of school that you're going to hire and start training, what are the two most important things you think that that person needs to focus on in order to really be successful in launching their career?
I mean, I think they'll need to bring in a good attitude. They have to be willing to learn.
One of the things you mentioned to me was, the idea of reading CMMs and really getting in technical side. And, I think for our team, a lot of times because we have teardown that's not on the 145 side, we have the opportunity to take technicians in and give them an opportunity to kind of train on their future field of composite repair, or maybe working on inlets or thrust reversers, because we have inlets and thrust reversers that we need to dismantle for parts. And so we're able to give them a tactical, practical application of the things they've done. It's not that they don't have the CMM or they don't have procedures, but they don't need to be hyper technical. And you mentioned that was an important piece, right? That they're really understanding the CMMs. And I love the idea that you're saying, hey, they gotta have a willingness to learn. And in my career, I've certainly seen people who excel in aviation, no matter what part. If you're not willing to learn, you're probably struggling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to get ahead if you can't embrace what other people have. And in our business, we're also very willing to teach. And you're young, you don't, I often tell people, I said, I've got wisdom to give you if you're willing to take it.
Yeah.
And even though you're a young guy, you're the account manager and you've got some wisdom to give. So I would encourage you to isolate, and if it really is a focus on willingness to learn and that technical data, I think that would be amazing for you guys. And young people have a hard time coming in. It's a different generation than it probably was when your dad came into the business.
Yeah.
And I certainly am challenged with the retention, because people join the workforce and they get right out of school. They work for you for 18 months. They go, thanks for the experience. I got $1.25 more an hour right across the street.
Yep.
Which is the danger of having all those people in Miami, right? There's a good and there's the challenging part of that. How do you guys address that? What helps you retain those people?
I mean, just the environment that we offer to our employees. We, as I was mentioning to you, this is a family business, and we like to treat our employees like family as well. So I think that's the most important thing that we offer at LF Avionics. It's not even about money or anything. It's about peace of mind, that you'll come into a work environment where you are respected for what you do, and we make sure that we show that appreciation to the employees that we have.
Yeah, it's amazing. My brother and sister and I are the three owners of the Jet Midwest companies. And, I often, people are like, geez, what's it like working with your siblings? And I go, well, we've had more fights in our lives than most business owners. So I think if we weren't related to each other, we probably have bigger problems because we can kind of look and say, okay, are you done? All right, fine. Let's move on. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Move on. So that part of working with family is great, but I do love that you're nurturing what that is with everybody. And I feel like Jet Midwest kind of has that same environment. Even though we're over 200 people now, I still feel like it's a family. I can walk around the warehouse and talk to people. We do some great team building events. I would encourage you guys to do some of those things because they really solidify that family setup. In fact, I'm gonna break the last year we did our first ever cardboard boat regatta.
Yeah.
Went on a picnic. Do you see the pictures?
Oh yeah, Patsy, Ashley, and Mary. They mentioned me that
Yeah,
was wonderful. Yeah,
that
and
was pretty wild.
they wanted me to stop by this year to see how it goes.
Actually, what they want is for LF to sponsor their boat.
Okay.
And then they can buy T-shirts and it'd be a full sponsor. I'm just kidding. They actually.
Well, that would be great. So
that actually be pretty
I'm down
cool
for it.
until it sinks. So you might be, as a quality guy, you might want to oversee some of the build.
Yeah.
In fact, we met with some guys that have some engineering stuff. Maybe we can get some boats to be scanned and we can get some improvements on that.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, the company build that you have, family business, amazing, and I encourage you to keep driving forward with that atmosphere because that'll last you forever. I believe fully that my employees are my family and that they treat the business as if it's theirs,
Yep.
and I trust them with that. And then when we mess up, we forgive each other and move on, and that's just like family.
That's how it is. I mean, it's human. Sometimes you make errors, and as long as you make sure that you are aware of it and you fix it, then it's all good.
It absolutely is. Well, listen, I ask all of my guests the one question, which is, what is your favorite aircraft and why? So I'd be curious, what is your favorite aircraft?
Okay, I'll give you like a different answer. I mean, I've seen your podcast like for long now. I don't have like an exact aircraft that I like. We work with small parts from the airplane, so it's hard for me to pick and choose one. So, but my top two is the 737 and the A320s, because those are the ones that we get more volume out of them, and the reverse are more predictable, and the piece part are more easy to get to find, and that's the one that we mainly focus on.
When I asked this question early on, my answer was always the 757 because it was, I think, my favorite fleet type to dig into as a parts guy. Like I really loved it. Was a different airplane than what I'd previously been exposed to. In the Fokker 100 in the MD-80 market was a lot of my marketplace, and the 75 was such a different airplane, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And as a big guy, I kind of like the 75 because it's a little wider.
Yeah.
So if you made me compare this 737 and A320, I'd probably go, maybe A320 because it's a little wider too. And
Yeah.
I get a little more shoulder room when I've got to fly somewhere for 3 or 4 hours. That's a little extra shoulder room's not so bad.
It's great. Yeah. I mean, on the A320 ones now that they're coming up, the new ones, they're even better than the ones before.
Yeah, the Icelandair. I was on an Icelandair flight on a 321. I was, this right nice.
Smooth.
I like.
Yeah,
it.
it's
And it's a
very
brand new
smooth.
airplane.
Yeah.
Beautiful interior. It made that trip to Reykjavik pretty special. And the hangover on the way back was very comfortable considering it was what it was.
Yeah.
Well, Rob, listen, I really appreciate you coming by and enlightening us. We have now crafted an entire new marketing plan for you and a new business model. I'm glad that we were able to hash that out for the people watching the podcast.
Thanks for your help with the marketing. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing where you guys grow to and watching your company flourish over the coming years. And hopefully we're sitting here in 20 years doing a look back, and you'll be running the podcast and I'll be the old retired guy. And we can lament about the starting of this epic story that you guys are on.
Thank you so much again for the opportunity, and thank you guys for everything that you guys do for us. I really appreciate everything, and I look forward to keep building this relationship.
You got it. Keep doing it right. So all you listeners out there and folks watching us, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to our podcast, Nose to Tail. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Presented by Jet Midwest.